Yeah. Okay, we back. We back. We back. Let's finish it out. I got 2 hours. Let's go. So what are we doing? We're trying to prove. Okay, we're calling Lana up to the stand in order to prove somehow that the chief of police actually killed Bruce Goodman.
Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand?
Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. She know. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye.
Like, fill us in.
And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course, she ain't gonna tell it. The truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. So why wouldn't she, again? Why wouldn't she tell the truth? Because I thought previously she wouldn't tell the truth because if the truth came out about the SL9 incident, then Emma would be prosecuted, or everyone would find out that Emma was the one who killed Marshall, but we already got that. So a little part of me says she didn't and something else happened, but let's say she did. Why isn't she? Because wouldn't that be the only blackmail that he'd have? You know, not telling people that Emma killed Marshall? I don't know.
Now then, your testimony if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony.
Why my tongue hurt? You're the only chance we have to get Gant.
Gant and the fabrication.
I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Okay, so is the play to be like, look, I rearranged the crime scene. No, because come on. Talk about it had nothing to do with Emma. Why are we lying?
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana!
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. What if she's telling the truth? Okay, so like, is the play like she'll admit that she rearranged the crime scene, but it's not the way Emma didn't push him? Is that so? If we convict her, we prove that Emma pushed. Okay, I'm a little lost. I hope you guys can explain it to me. Why she's still not telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second guessing myself.
The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Worked alongside Gant for years. That's facts. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years.
Detective Gant and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Skye. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife, and I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. No shit. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable in self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. A little part of me, I think earlier, I kind of let it go, but earlier I was like, if she did it, won't she get in trouble? But I guess not. I guess that's why she was chilling. I kind of figured that when she seemed so calm after finding out she murdered Marshall. I'm like, I guess she ain't going to jail, so we good. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana. So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. That's fucking stupid. So she's not gonna get in trouble. So okay, yeah. What? She's not gonna get in trouble. So why is she not just telling the truth? And on top of that, Emma already, she already accepted the fact that she killed Marshall, impaled him, backstabbed. So, why is she still... Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. I just want my confusion to be voiced. So if something happens, y'all why ain't he react to that? Because I don't know. So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. I didn't press that. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken Prosecutor Award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? What? That's what I'm saying. But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean... Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Now I'm even more confused, bro. What, did Dark throw the knife up in the sky and then it came down? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. That's what I'm saying. What? Oh, just to protect me. Protect you from what? So when you found the scene, like when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound, and then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You, of all people, should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. Why did you plant the knife? Why did you move the body? Why did you move the body? I'm actually curious about that. When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Guy moved the body.
The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan.
Pieces of the jar, you mean?
Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so is this where we get to reveal the fact that he couldn't have written Emma's name on the jar since it was already broken? I see.
What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed.
Did we not realize this, people?
But I have a feeling there's more to it than that.
There must be a contradiction here somewhere.
Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
I haven't pressed that yet, so let's go ahead and do that. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer?
How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period.
Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence?
She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister is lying.
Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end.
Protect her from what?
I'm gonna keep saying that. I'm not. We already know she... Well, the assumption already is that Emma pushed bro and got him stabbed in the back. We already think this, so... She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself.
There's no way she could have done it alone.
And then we already know Emma won't get in trouble because it was self-defense. I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Alright. Alongside Gant for you, there's no truth to this blackmail. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Objection! Miss Guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony.
Contradiction in my testimony?
You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan."
That's right.
Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood.
Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments.
Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Right. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. That's what I'm saying. Order. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regards to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Okay. Okay, Edgeworth came in smooth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
But they weren't wiped clean. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
We will press the fuck out of you. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar.
So the jar was already broken.
It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feasible as the defense's case, but not as feeble as the judge's judgment.
You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have.
But it was dark, right?
But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out.
So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar?
No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust.
Well, that helps my case.
Lana, you'd do that?
Oh my god. It seems you two might make up yet.
Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
To be safe, I wiped away the blood.
I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood.
What else could I have done in that situation?
Not wiped away the blood.
Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all.
You didn't get them all, though. You definitely didn't get them all. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office, right?
A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece.
No, you didn't, because a piece was in Gant's safe. Hello?
All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
So you illegally rearranged the crime scene?
Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time.
It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident, no doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions. Yep. Objection! Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of.
What?
We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's office. Or safe. It's crazy that I had to use that twice to present.
In the chief's safe? But how?
I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. It was written afterwards? Oh no, that's dumb. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Right, yep. Chief Gant got there before you. Facts. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? Objection. I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective she calls herself. Like, That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has those days. Look, for my dentures, they were in my mouth all along. Can you believe that? Yes, I can. Objection. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on the shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? Objection! Why are you objecting that? He just asked a question. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? Yeah, nigga! No! Wait. I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark. Sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet, nigga. Dang, are you doing the summoning jutsu? She stuff bleeding. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Emma, you know you done killed him, right? Alright. Like, come on, bro. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. That's funny. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. Talk about it. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. Yep. I already talked about this. Maybe. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Scott, you don't remember? She stayed like just making up shit. She's like, but I remember this, but I remember that. Oh, but maybe I remember this. Like, come on, bro. Like, just sit there. Like, you good? I'm a scientific investigator. Like, okay, cool. Like, Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing, or it may change everything. There's a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. All right. The witness may testify once more for the final time. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof.
I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
What? Me?
It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed.
But I don't remember receiving a picture like that.
Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana.
Lana says she gave it to you this morning, right?
Bro, I keep taking breaks between... I don't remember. I seem to remember getting something from her back then.
Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere.
Here? Evidence law? From Miss Sky explains the 2 rows of law. We did get it this earlier, right? We got this from Gumshoe. But that was the last trial, right? I think so. Oh, they're letting me... Wait, what? Okay, they're not letting me... Hey, there's a picture here.
Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detectives saw the crime scene like this.
Because that was Lana. Okay, my fault.
Because I contacted the criminal affairs only after I had rearranged everything.
Lana's picture inserted into the court record.
Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe?
Oh, that was me saying that, goddammit. What's this? Yeah. Yeah, and they had her fingerprints, right.
That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whose ever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer.
What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma.
Why are your lips...
See, okay, it was in parentheses, which means I said it in my head. How come sometimes she responds to what I say in my head?
Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, let's get on with it, with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flesh out the real murderer. Oh my gosh. Maybe. I'm still trying to think Emma didn't do it. So how could she not have done it? Maybe she pushed somebody, whatever. Maybe she did knock out Dark. I don't know. If Gantz came in, cut out the piece, and then put her handprint on, or put Emma's handprint on it in order to have leverage over Lana. You know what I mean? Like, I was her handprint. Like, if I need to bring this out, I will. Maybe Lana doesn't know about that, but like, he still has leverage. You know what I mean? He can bring that out in an emergency. So maybe he did that, took a piece, because everyone was killed or knocked out in that situation. I don't know. Very well. Yeah. This is crazy, bro.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on a...
Hold it. He knows. He knows we're on to him. Come now, Uji. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gantz. What now? You want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. Objection. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify facts. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort, nigga. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back and relax, nigga. And enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. GG. Oh, what? So what? You think I'm worried?
sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Yeah, he 100% planted her hand on that piece of leather, bro. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone. So, what's your excuse, Righto? This is crazy. This is crazy, bro. Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. If you try to conceal, anything, you will be appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I'd better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who killed Prosecutor Marshall? Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence. Alright. The time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the chief's. Let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Take that. It's a piece of leather cloth. Yes. It most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Righto has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they? They're Miss Skies, Miss Emma Skies. What? They're mine? So, I really did do it. See, I told you it was conclusive. Objection. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? Objection! But give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. No. It appears we have our killer. No. No! Everything hinged on that. And then Lana alone was... Oh. Damn. I didn't know. I thought maybe like there would be a twist. That's hilarious. Good thing I saved. That's that just didn't feel like the right thing to do, to hide the evidence. Granted, it was... I don't believe in it, but... I don't believe in... like exactly what happened, but... That's crazy, bro. What? They let me do all that. That's kind of cool, though. Guilty, then put me back in the main menu. That's funny as hell. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief Gant. Well, you lie all the time too, nigga. That's crazy. Chief Gant, you opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. That's funny as hell. I'm glad I picked the wrong answer just to see all that. That's pretty funny. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you, boy? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Okay, so I just had to say that to get him to mess himself up. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gal, righto. I didn't think I did either. I mean, I didn't. I had to reload. The gal? Is it the goal? Or is that how you spell it? You pronounce it the goal? I don't know. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? That's crazy. I was the first person. This game really makes you do things and like tricks you and like it makes you do the what you feel is the video game correct answer, and it flips it, bro. That's crazy. Like when they let me do that, pick that one option, and then it presents a bunch of evidence, and then I realized I had to pick the other option the whole time. That's crazy, man. I was the first person to arrive on that crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her? I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to rearrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I had 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. Yeah, that's why I figured he thought so far ahead. I'm like, the dude gotta be smart. That's crazy. That's why I feel like he planted the handprint on Emma, because I think he's that smart, but maybe Emma did do. I don't know. See this jar fragment? I had the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. If you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on the jar too? Ho ho ho. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto, cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all, but it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. That's what I was thinking, but it's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Victory is mine! Nope. Nope, it's too late to show the evidence now. Besides, even if I did, that's what I'm thinking. Now I'm like, okay, I'm out of video game mode, real life mode. I can't do it now. It just exposed that poor girl's fingerprints. Right. Think hard over the circumstances. The circumstances? I'm talking about then and now. There's one major difference between the two. Weren't you waiting for that difference? So, oh yeah, the fact that he admitted that it was in the safe? Edward figured out my plan. No. Mr. Wright, this is your only chance. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Oh, okay, and they just made me choose it. All right. How come they didn't do that before? Where I picked the wrong answer and then I presented the wrong thing and they were like, nope, that's not right. Why didn't they just make me choose the right answer instead of keep going back and choosing wrong and wrong evidence? This game sometimes, man. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break after this. Like, I'm not gonna go right to the next game. I thought I would, but honestly, I'm trying to play one game at a time at this point. Well, do one playthrough at a time. So I think after this, I'll play one game, but then I'll come back to this. A shorter game, you know what I mean? Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Nope, I didn't do that. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes, at last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the labs for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean it could not have been forged? It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Oh my god. Ho ho ho. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Rido had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. Bro, this is... I don't know what they want me to do, bro. It should be okay now. Everything is proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... Gant. Imagine. Take that. Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? You were mad earlier. Oh ho ho ho! You're really something, Rido. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic but true. This girl really did shove the Prosecutor Marshall to his death. Hold it! How could you? You monster! Miss Sky! You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely? Why does it sound wrong? You purposefully? Yeah, that sounds right. Purposely. Is that a word too? Where you purposefully concealed this conclusive evidence. That's it? Or whatever. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Yeah, I'm talking my shit now. I'm gonna tell you about yourself. Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? No. I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. No clue. No clue. She has smaller hands. I don't... What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict? Chief Gent, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Why is this glove evidence? What was it used for? Oh, was it the gloves Joe Dark had on? I was gonna say there's no blood on it, but there's no blood on any of the leather on the picture. There's no blood on it. Is that it? Yeah, there's no blood on it. There is blood on the leather. Is that it? Take that. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Guy took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured, blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth. No blood. Wait, there's no blood on it. Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. That's crazy. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armored sword? Then to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood, a jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And that doesn't make sense. Not really. No, that doesn't make sense. The reason that doesn't make sense is that if he wrote Emma in blood on the vase, what was the point of breaking it? Like he said, to make it evidence, but if there's blood on a vase, it's evidence. Especially if it has someone's name on it, it's evidence. So okay, maybe he did that in order as just backup in case, you know, Lana didn't ask for help or whatever, just backup to pin the murder on Emma. and then he broke it, and then he stole a piece just so years later, just in case. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. Okay. And make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of evidence, piece of the victim's vest. Yo, this crime scene is crazy, bro. This like whole trial is crazy, bro. The fact that he framed somebody to do it, but not so they could take the fall, but as backup, so they could take the fall years later if it comes back up. That's a crazy like 4D chess type of way to think about this, bro. That you have to like keep thinking about. Like he framed Emma, but it wasn't to frame Emma. It was to frame Emma way later, but it was all to frame Joe Dark though. The first time. That's crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally all over. Objection? What? Oh, that was close, Rhino. You almost had me, Rhino. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I'll refute your allegations. Bro, sweating bullets. See, this is the one thing I typically don't like, because I haven't played Danganronpa, but I've seen Berlizzi play Danganronpa. Danganronpa? I don't know, whatever. And Dangan. I've seen them play a few of them. I think number 1, number 2. And the thing about that, and that seems to be true for a lot of these detective type visual novel games, is that they drag it on. At some points, they just drag it on to like the nth degree. You're a cop, bro. I feel like they could have just cut it right there with him yelling no, and we would have been good. But I don't know why they feel the need to drag it on, man. What do you mean you refute his allegations? Unless like maybe something's gonna be revealed to like make this case even crazier. You see, that piece of cloth is legal evidence. Order, what nonsense is this? Legal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Iggy? Earlier, all Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. Yep, I was there. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. Did you actually think you could best me in court, boy? It looks like I don't know why I said boy. Looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Okay. This wasn't a waste of time. He really fucked me. That's crazy. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person, assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems at last. Time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. This nigga is Yu-Gi-Oh, bro. My trap card? Like, right, let me in on it. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did not. It wasn't illegal. I admit I refused to present it at one point. Aha, so the evidence is illegal. Objection. But I did end up presenting it. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence, then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures in... And this nigga is Yu-Gi-Oh, bro! And now I play my trap card! And I don't know how it goes, bro. is because we didn't know. All we knew, that's crazy actually. This nigga's a genius. If y'all ain't keeping up like I am, if y'all ain't keeping up like I was earlier, so basically, rule 2, I don't know, rule 1, whatever, of evidence law or whatever it is, the book, is that the only evidence is something like you can only present evidence that pertains to the case, right? Technically, even though we found, okay, technically we couldn't link it to this case, so it wasn't actual evidence, right? Because all we did was find some leather with Emma's handprint on it in Gant's safe. We don't know where it came from, right? We didn't know anything until after he mentioned that it was in his safe and it was cut out of bro's vest. Then it linked to this case. Then we could use it. That's crazy, bro. Good shit, bro. And I'm over here talking about why they dragging it on. That's hard. That's hard. That's hard. No, Uji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. Objection. There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present the evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Take that! This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. I really wish there was voice acting. I mean, I like doing the voices every now and then, but like, I at least wish there was a little bit. I know it was on Nintendo, so it makes sense. Nintendo DS or whatever it was on. So it makes sense that there's none. But like, just for moments like this, I wish I could just do this while he talks. That'd be so cool, but I have to do the voice. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth and nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Objection! Nigga. Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes. He was happy to say it too. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Wasn't it? Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. No.
I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to You killed his brother! That just clicked in, bro. Yeah, he investigated you. You killed his brother. Maybe I will go right into the next game after this. Like, I don't know if I should take a break, play a different game, then come back and play the next game. I don't know. This hurt my throat though. Like, I don't know if I should. Maybe I should take a mental break, but I don't know. He wants to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? I don't know his voice. Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence. There are too many questions left unanswered. That's when you killed him? He opened his evidence locker, and as he was talking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SO9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife. That's crazy, bro. You killed him. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. Put the body in the bag. Y'all remember that episode of SpongeBob? He didn't say body, he said, "Put the money in the bag. Put it in." Oh, you're facing the wrong way. Oh, yeah. I forget what he said after that. Alright, I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Is that true? Motherfucker. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how could you get Miss Sky involved in all this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth ever came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments and the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. Wow. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon a close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day,
You'll understand. Oh, believe you me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Guns. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Righto here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of... Oh, autoplayed. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gantz betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky? You no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Wow, she smiled. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Wow. A few things, man. So, first time she smiled. That tells me that she's reverted to her past self that everyone knew her as before she changed, right? That's good. That's good. She says I have high standards because I've already proven that Emma didn't commit the murder. I've proven that Gantz did. I've also proven that he killed Bruce Goodman. I've proved everything. I've shown the truth. And Phoenix still wanted to talk about what he couldn't do. Those are high standards. That's a perfectionist. I love to see that. But a perfectionist when it comes to like helping people. And I appreciate that. Mia did put a lot of hopes in me. She died early, but she still helped. Still helped in cases after she died. And again, piece of shit. But he wasn't pure evil. He wasn't a good dude. Maybe he was kind of evil. He was kind of evil. But he was charming at the end. He killed somebody's brother. It was like, he's getting in my way. Why does he keep insisting? It's like, bro, you killed his brother. And then your backup plan was dependent on a then 14-year-old girl. And then have Lana go down for it. Down for the Bruce Goodman death. And you killed Bruce Goodman, a detective that just wanted to do the right thing. This nigga's insane, actually. I don't know why. That nigga's insane. And then he want to talk about, sorry, Judge, I can't make our dinner date, our lunch date. You're insane! Fuck whatever I was saying. That nigga's insane. Lock him up or kill him. One of the two. I don't ever want to see him again on the streets. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. Nigga was ready to hand in his resignation, bro. I was worried the pressure might break you. And who my dog's barking at? Who's barking at something? Yeah, keep them raccoons, you know, at bay. Love that. You rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. That's facts. I couldn't have done this without Edgeworth, by like, no doubt. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky. Yes, Your Honor? You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. I just thought of something. Sorry. Not pertaining to this game. Something I gotta do later. Still acted as his accomplice. The trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. So, okay, and I'm not gonna edit it out because it was how I truly felt, right? I like to keep my true feelings in these videos, and I like to keep it very genuine. So I get why she didn't want to come clean in a way, because she thought Emma had killed her, and let's just say I buy that. She didn't want to admit, you know, what happened because she didn't want people to for sure think Emma was the murderer, even though she probably thought that, right? So I get that. Or she for sure thought that because she was trying to hide it or whatever. But I get why in like the video game, because at a certain point I was like, why are we still doing this? But I get why the developers were like, okay, we gotta like kind of string this along and get more out of Lana in order to show that Emma actually didn't kill Marshall. It was Gant. Okay, I see the line. I see the line of thinking for sure. I get it. I get it. It's cool. This game's good. Once we're done with this, I'll share my final thoughts. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty. That is all. The court is adjourned. At long last, it's finally over. Emma, why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see why Mia Fey thought, I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit. Okay, yeah, we were just there. You know, I did my best to, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. Oh, damn. I don't know what my brain just did, but my brain, I know I didn't see what I saw. It almost looked like Gumshoe pushed Emma to the ground. I know it must have been the combination of like him flashing in front of me and the sound of him hitting something that made my brain do that. I swear it looked like he knocked Emma to the ground, bro. That is, but like in 2 frames like that. That's hilarious. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. And Emma, it's because you didn't do nothing. No, I'm playing. All you did was faint and make things harder. No, I'm joking. All right. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, here we go with this. Here we go with this. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Come back, bro. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Make a detective run around all... And to top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, line up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lana, should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. Yeah, it'd be like that. It really do. You just gotta shut yourself off. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. It's tough, bro. When you hold everything in, you do reach a limit. You do genuinely reach a limit. 2 years is a long time. I remember when I was in the army, there was like, I believe it was about 6 months. Nah, probably a little less than 6 months. I'm telling you, like every other day, if not every day, there was like, besides the weekend, some weekends, there was like, I'll say most weekends, there was always some bullshit going on, and it was damn nets, motherfucker. Like Patrick from Goofy Goober, from the Goofy movie or whatever. Anyways, there was like 3 months, 4 months, I don't know. I had this boss, right? He fucking sucked. And it's not because he was an asshole. He was an asshole sometimes, but I've dealt with assholes, right? Like that's not really an issue for me. And he was cool a lot of the time, but he was so dumb and he was so pretentious on certain things, and it wasn't fun to be around him, right? But that aside, he made things so much harder. And this was already when we were struggling. We were undermanned, right? And I was basically carrying that office for those months, right? While continuously, like him telling me what to do, how to do it, while being yelled at by other people, right? And then at the same time, they knew that he was the problem too. And then like, if they weren't yelling at me, they were like telling me, bro, you got to talk to him and fix him, even though he was like 2 ranks higher than me. But anyways, it was like months of like every day, just something new, something avoidable, right? Like I could get if I have to do something stupid, I get it. But when I have to do something stupid just because something stupid happened that didn't need to happen, that's a problem. And it kept happening all the time. People kept getting irritated. I kept having to do double work. Anyways, this all culminated in like one day. I remember specifically what happened. It was the morning. It was there were, I think at the time, just one other person working with us, and like one person that was kind of a desk jockey, and they were both out that day. So it was basically just me. I had a stack of papers. There was some stuff I was like months behind. He was in his office, right? He was doing his own thing on the computer, taking forever, right? And then people kept coming in, kept asking. I remember this one person, she's the nicest person in the world. She came in and she was like, hey, did you look at my email and do that thing? I was like, no, I haven't. All right. She was like, okay. She walked out. Person comes in, asks me to do something. They leave. She comes back, checks in again. I'm like, sorry, I still haven't done it. Another person comes in, hands me some paper. Can you do this real quick? I'm like, sure. Again, stack of papers that I've been having, like folders I gotta do, other shit I gotta do. She comes in. I remember by the 4th time she came in to check to see if I had done the thing. That really, it wouldn't have taken that long, but it would have made me stop doing what I was already doing. Anyway, I remember she left, and then all that, right? I'm trying to do all this, and then we had a meeting. I think during lunch, we had to do a meeting, and I remember I broke down crying, bro. I remember I went to the bathroom. I like speed walked to the bathroom, and I started crying, and I called my mom, and I was just like, I just wanted to talk to her, bro. And I was crying on the phone. I felt bad. I remember later I found out my little brother was there, and he was hearing me. And my little brother at the time, I think he had just started college, and I was in there crying. And I later found out that he almost started crying because he heard me cry, because I don't cry, bro. I don't cry in front of anybody. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I never get like overly emotional like that. Anyways, I was crying, and I was just talking to my mom. Found out that he was almost crying because I was crying. Anyways, it was just like a culmination of stuff. And then after that, I gathered myself that I had to do the meeting, right? I went in there, and I remember I was behind the monitor, and I had to pull something up, and only a few people had showed up. And then my boss was there, and he saw me, like, he's like, "Are you okay?" And then I just couldn't. That was probably the first time in my life, well, in my adult life, that I was crying in a way that, like, I couldn't talk properly because I was so emotional. I was like, I just couldn't, catch it. So he let me go to work early. Well, he tried to. Didn't work out, but I didn't have to do the meeting. I was just working at my desk, and after that, I came back to work, and I was chilling. We had a conversation, and he was like, "Bro, you're being overworked." Everyone at that point already knew I had been overworked, because I think at that point, I know I'm taking forever on this. It's the ending, bro. Let me talk. Let me have like a little story, bro. Because she spent 2 years doing things she didn't want to do, like living this other persona, right? And that's essentially what I was doing for months, right? Just like really just trying to work, not really talking to people, whatever. And yeah, after that we talked, and everyone at that point that was my second year not taking any leave, and that's because I'm not a guy who takes leave. I don't really need vacation typically. Like, I don't really get burned out. I was probably burned out at that point, but I came to work the next day. I was chilling, he was like, "All right, man, just relax." And I remember he had to talk to other people because I was taking on a lot of the workload, and by choice. And I never really complained about anything. Even though people tried to get me to complain, they're like, "If there's something wrong, tell us." And I was like, "I'll do it, whatever." And it usually worked out. But now with this new guy, like that, my boss just made everything harder. But yeah, man, I get it for sure. I get it. When you in a situation you don't want to be in your job, but you still have to perform, like, that's a different type of stress. Anyways, because it's not like when I worked at McDonald's, if I wasn't feeling it, I could just be lazy. You know what I mean? Not work crazy hard. But when you're trying to do the best you can, but you're constantly hitting roadblocks, and like another person is just making your job optionally harder stuff. Anyway, I was scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you're only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day, in hiding what I believed to be the truth. I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. Sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back, and now you have. Oh, Emma. That gotta be a thumbnail. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Man, they kill it. Whoever their artists are, they kill it, man. With these like final image, like when they do these unique images, oh, it's beautiful, bro. It's genuinely beautiful, and it feels like a culmination of everything that's happened, summed up, or like with a beautiful ending. I love that. I might jump into the next games. I might that might be my next playthrough, the next game in the bundle, trilogy, whatever. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Bro's hiding behind that tree, huh? I don't like his face head on, bro. I really don't. What was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. I really hope my breathiness doesn't the mic, you know what I mean? Like hit it with the plosives and whatnot. I'm just doing his voice. I haven't edited this stuff, and even when I do edit, like the very I just go to the ending. I'm not gonna get into it, bro. I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day, you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But Edgeworth. Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. Maybe. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue as a prosecutor. Be a defense attorney, bro. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gantz and their mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime, but they both made the same mistake. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright, that's facts. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. Love? Like... Oh! Take that. That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. That's beautiful. That's poetic, bro. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture, right? That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth. If you'll excuse me. There are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. Facts. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth. I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. Why does that always happen, bro? Hold on. There we go. I really hope I don't see him as on the prosecutor side, at least in court all the time, because like he gonna have a straight loss record, bro. He ain't gonna win any cases against me, bro. Not one, bro. What do you think that's gonna do to his psyche, bro? I guess we'll find out. Like he'll be able to find out the truth. I don't know. That'd be kind of weird though. There's no way Edgeworth is in the next game, right? There's no way, because there would have to be somewhere the person gets prosecuted, or like he would have to prosecute somebody. There's no way everyone. I mean, in this universe, I'm thinking too hard about this. There's no way he's in the next game though. He's gonna just lose every case, bro. Farewell. I'd better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. I guess I did need 2 hours. Let's go. Seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation? It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. Wow. And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. The sisters, man. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? You ruined the whole moment, bro. There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. That's what I'm thinking, bro. Like, he always... Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, haha. You see, Mr. Wright here is the one who will be footing the bill. Huh? Wait, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. I've been getting docked pays ever since Edgeworth was hired. Like... Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. You have no money. Let's go. Objection. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe. I hope she'll be pleased too. Oh, it's autoplay. Pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Wow. I love how they do this. Keshi Yamazaki. Design. Kazuya Nori. Yikes! I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. So, this game is the first visual novel I've ever played. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them though. Someday I'm going to make detective. Yes, sir. Then I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe. Yep, that sounds about right. Yep. First visual novel I've ever played. The only I've seen Danganronpa be played again by Berlizzi, but it's just one of those things where I didn't pay too much attention, but I got the gist of it. But this has made me realize the struggles and the good parts of doing a visual novel. Being able to do voices is pretty fun, but it's also it messes your throat up. Sometimes it messes your head up, sometimes it messes my nose up, like but this is good, man. It's a good game. It just goes to show, when you play a game that you've never played, you really understand that like a good game is a good game. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be what you've played before. What is it? Can't you see I'm having a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Star managed to sneak this into me. She's seeing one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Bean a backer smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? I love this song. Love this music. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the right way lunch. Oh, that's fire. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. That's cool. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. That's cool. That's really cool. You can tell, like, I feel like you can always tell when a game is put together with love. And this feels like a game put together with love. Maybe you cannot always tell, but like, this feels like a passion project almost. It feels almost like an indie. I never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. I wonder if it is. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be. Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go. Oh, that's what his chair looks like? That's pretty cool. But yeah, I will say I enjoyed my time with this game. I'm happy I played the game, and I do fully plan on playing the rest. Fully. I think the reviews say maybe the third is the best, and second is the worst, or maybe the first is the best, and then they get worse. That's just what the reviews say. Oh my god! Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Wow. Nick as in... Isn't Nick our friend's name? Maybe I'm tripping. That's cool though. I enjoyed this game. You know, good games are just good games, man. And I enjoyed this. There were some moments where things were a little bit obtuse. Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth. I brought you your tea. What's going on? What happened? Oh, the resignation? No way he actually resigned. I didn't read. Was there a description of what that was? Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. That's cool. Oh wow, they actually let me. That's fire. I've never in my life. This is so cool, bro. Wow. Wow. Bro, they get emotions out of me, man. That's awesome. Wow. It's not like this song is that emotional. That's how you know it's a good game, when the credits roll and you feel happy that you experienced it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you feel emotional that it's over, but you're so happy you experienced it. How do I even access the other games? Oh. Is this the new one? Whatever. I'll figure it out. But it just goes to show, man, once you like beat a game, and then like, I've never experienced a game like doing that in credits, having such interactive credits. Like the game's already over and they're still like showing you things, like how people are. That's awesome. I love that. And then you still get to interact with things, and you could like the love that it feels was put into like just little images like that, man. I respect it. I don't think this game was perfect. I think there was some stuff that felt a little obtuse. Some things that was like, what are we talking about? Like, you could come to certain conclusions, but everybody else doesn't, strictly because it's not time for that conclusion yet. You know what I mean? And it's like, because like I figured out the whole vase thing. I knew that the vase, he couldn't have written on it Emma's name, and why would he? Like, there's weird holes there, and I do feel like it's genuinely harder to create a game like this with a narrative that has correct pacing and order and all that, because and still make it a game. It still like have some consistency and time between certain parts, or with each chapter or part, whatever. Because I feel like maybe the ad, not the ad, I feel like maybe the added complexity when it comes to this not just being a puzzle game, but a puzzle game where you have to use critical thinking logic. Like, why doesn't this person do this instead? Oh, it's because of this piece of evidence. Why is it this piece of evidence? Because of this, because of this. It's not like a puzzle where, oh, I'm supposed to go through this door first and then jump over here and then hit this thing. You know what I mean? It's a different type of thinking, and it's a type of thinking where, depending on the person you are, or just like your headspace at the time, you might not grab things, or things might not really resonate with you. Like, why is this the case immediately? But I do think that's just the genre. I think it can be kind of hard with those things when you're trying, again, to make a video game out of being a detective or an investigator. So with that being said, I do think that they did a phenomenal job, and I had a lot of fun. A lot of unique characters. There's things that happened that I wasn't expecting. The new added stuff in the DLC or expansion part, with the cutscene and then the fingerprint stuff, and just adding little things to spice it up so it's not the same exact gameplay every single time, like spraying for blood, just little stuff like that. I think it was cool, and it did add to the game a little complexity. It was cool. Again, I'm excited to go into the rest of the games, see what they have in store. I don't think that this is my favorite genre of all time. Like, visual novels aside, I think visual novels are cool or fun, but like just a detective themed game where like you have to follow the logic of the game, or you're not gonna get anywhere. And there are gonna be times where you have to do things that seem kind of backwards to you, and then it ends up working out because, again, you have to follow the logic of the game. I think that's cool. I mean, I understand the complexity with that, and I'm not, perturbed by it, but I don't love it. You know what I mean? But I enjoyed the game, and I'm definitely going to play the rest of them. It was a cool game. I felt the emotions that I feel like I was supposed to feel. It was fun doing the characters. I love the characters. I love the story. The cases, in the end, always made sense, in a certain way. I think sometimes the way to get to the end of a case didn't quite make sense, at least pacing wise and order wise. Order wise seemed to make sense, but pacing wise sometimes. But at the end I was like, okay, sure. Again, this was really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the playthrough. If you did, like the video. If you did, or like the videos, share them, whatever. If you didn't, try another one, maybe like that one. Other than that, keep your head up. Peace.
I'll walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil, because I'm blind to it all.